Hey ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to revisit an old story. Do you remember the cat lady?
Hello, my name is Lindsey Graham and I am a cat. Meow, meow. I'm not a woman dressed as a cat. I am a cat. By show of hands, I'm curious, how many of you believe and confess that I'm a cat? Great. By show of hands, I'm curious, how many of you believe that your child or a child from this school would believe that I'm actually a cat? No one.
Well, I guess not.
You are right. Why? Because you are not stupid, and these children are not stupid. Truth prevails over imagination.
Well, the cat lady, she was protesting as a cat to identify like a cat and assume that everybody would consider her a cat, while she is protesting at the school board that she believes I'm acting like you. Now you see how ironic the whole story is, and we want you to stop because I know I'm not a cat. The kids don't know that I'm not the cat. As you can see, you know where this mumbo jumbo is going. But look.
Here are the facts surrounding Paul Bixler. He's a 72-year-old biological man. For the most of his life, he has been married, has 2 children. He has lived the life of a biological man. He is attracted to women. He was married to a woman 30, 40 years. He sits on the school board of an elementary school in Buckeye, Arizona called Liberty Elementary. This man is claiming to be a woman. It's a bad picture. Hold on. There we go. This man tells the little children at the school that he is a woman. He wears clothing, he wears lipstick, and he uses the same restroom as your little girls. He also uses the women's locker room at Esporta Fitness in Goodyear, Arizona. He has been spotted yesterday in the women's locker room in Esporta Fitness in Goodyear, Arizona. He went on local television claiming victimhood because people like myself, parents who have the right to speak up against their elected officials, are harassing and bullying him.
Cap.
Paul Bixler cannot be voted off the school board. He must either willingly step down or be recalled. The recall is being started. Please email Paul Bixler. His email is in the description. Let him know kindly that he stepped down from the school board willingly and cease and desist from using women's facilities, or charges will be filed with the Buckeye Police Department.
Now, that is the person that she was going against. She was like, yo, you are responsible about this whole thing. And as I told you before, nobody is taking this seriously. So,
a man dressed as a woman walking into the women's bathroom.
I think that whatever
That's clearly a man.
I think
beard and all.
I think that whatever you clearly express as is probably where you go.
But they're confused. If you have a beard with a wig on and a dress and you're walking in the girls' bathroom, you're not a woman.
Sure.
You're confused.
Maybe not, but like what is happening in there? Like, bro.
No left-leaning blue-haired person is taking this seriously. So actually parents have to be very active. And this woman is the woman of the year. She deserves, not like speak only by the mouth, blah, 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 blah. No, she does the effort. That's a feminist. That's a mom. That's a woman. And now, maybe we should call her Bad Girl. I don't know. Because she has been done some investigating and she has been following people and she pointed out the hypocrisy.
I am at the gym in Arizona. He was undressing in the locker room. Top off, bra off. And Paul Bixler was in the women's locker room. And he looked at me and he looked at my breasts. And I have called the police. Until recently, he's used the men's locker room. So he agrees himself that he's a man. I have told the police that I was in the locker room. A man was in there. I was getting undressed. He looked at me. He is a man in the women's locker room. And the response is that this is a touchy, sensitive issue in society.
You're a victim.
Yep, there he goes, women's locker room. There's the man going in the women's locker room. Hope there's no one undressing in there. Hope there's no naked women in there. Since there's a man, why isn't anyone warning the women? Just so everyone knows, he's not being arrested. We are at a point where we're catering to society instead of facts. This is alarming. Women's rights are being violated. And I'm not going to put up with it. Paul Paul, if you're a female, why do you use the men's restroom sometimes and the women's restroom sometimes?
Please stay away from it, please. Yes, politely, like I said.
He will suffer no consequences for that.
Now, she, to be nice, has her own story in the background, and I can understand that she never expected this to happen, and I would like to respect her in her journey. The problem is, I don't need somebody to be there for a journey, even if you have all the expertise that the school need, when I'm still the expert of my son. I consider my son a protective class. You shouldn't create a different protective class that give you more access to my kid, and when I try to tell you you're wrong, you're like, oh, everybody's attacking me. No!
A school board member in the Valley is now the subject of bullying, harassment, and threats, all because she is transgender.
Her gender identity has become a talking point and a target at recent school board meetings. Team 12's Bianca Bono attended the Liberty School Board meeting this week and sat down with the member who hopes the new year will bring an end to all the hate.
We saw multiple grade levels.
There are few more passionate about education.
First grade picks up the text.
Than Paul Bixler.
My professional career has been in public education.
She started as a teacher in Phoenix in 1976, working her way up to administrator and principal. Paul now sits on the board for the Liberty Elementary School District in the West Valley.
I wanted to add some stability to the board.
Paul was motivated to come out of retirement and run for the school board seat in 2020 after watching the board face turnover and tough comments during COVID.
And I figured with the expertise I was bringing in, it would be good stability.
At the end of 2022, she never could have predicted the comments would next target her.
Grooming and the trans ideology.
Trans grooming in our children's schools.
It is not the place to celebrate a grown man with a mental illness dressing as a woman.
Painful personal attacks.
I could not believe what they were saying.
All because she is a transgender woman.
I do not choose to be transgender.
From the time Paul was a child, she knew she was different.
By about 11 or 12, I was pretty sure I knew what was going on.
That was in 1961.
There was too much risk.
Paul eventually married her wife, Candace, had 2 children, and a long, loving marriage.
My wife was aware of it, but it was absolutely clear that it was uncomfortable for her.
In 2017, Paul's wife died of cancer.
I decided at that point that if I was ever going to explore what my real feelings were, this would be the time.
At first, the support was overwhelming. But things changed at a November board meeting when public comment turned into this.
Until Paul Bixler resigns, I will continue to vote no.
Resign.
One of the speakers then escalating her comments on Fox News.
He grew his hair out a little bit and he wears his deceased wife's clothing to school.
Targeting not only Paul, but her late wife.
My wife was the gentlest, bravest, most grace-filled person I ever met. She was an incredible human being. And they attacked her.
From there, hateful emails and letters like this one.
Have you been afraid for your safety?
There were a couple of emails that got my attention.
But still, Paul continues to do her job.
We have to go back to Mr. Bixler.
At Monday night's school board meeting, more comments.
Because he's still here.
But also words of support.
Please show some human decency.
Not sure we've had a board member who is as knowledgeable as Miss Bixler.
Paul holding on to that positivity, refusing to resign, hoping speaking out at the start of a new year puts an end to the attacks.
This sideshow that they're trying to promote is taking away from the real business we ought to be doing. So I'd like to get back to the real job of a school.
The main problem with this is that you can just identify it at that moment. I can verify what you're doing. I can verify your private life, but you still have access to specific things that specific other people would like to have access to that too. You don't take that in consideration. And that's a very negative thing. The fact that you don't even see or understand the danger and understand that parents are super protective of their kids. If you don't understand that, that means I don't want you to be around my kid because you don't understand our fear. And if it happens, You would always say it's an anecdotal, you're making the problem bigger than it is. I've seen it so many times. It's the kids that belong to the parents. Just because you didn't have an opportunity to enjoy your life, I know it's a bad thing, but it's 2023. People can make the option now. But the fact that you kind of push it that way, I do think it's very disingenuous. And the fact that you are fighting the pushback, I don't think they're attacking you. I think you're jumping in front of them.
I feel very attacked.
And then be surprised, oh, why are you attacking me? They can't even vote you out. They have to go to all this bureaucracy. Why? And now you feel attacked? Dude. Sorry. See, this is difficult. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about the whole situation. I wish her the best. And it's really hard to, these videos I just make them on a whim. I don't make a script, so I keep making my mistakes. My apology. In real life, I would act the same way, and most of the transgender people that I've met or talked to, they understand that.